The Rocky Mountains await 24 adventure athletes who made the first cut in the Global Extremes Challenge.
Nothing is really going to get my way to stop me.
The enormity of their task ahead is tremendous, as the expert judges must determine who will be eliminated.
I've been consumed with global extremes, and that's pretty much all I've been thinking about for the last few months.
I want to get rid of him. I couldn't live at Everest with him.
Unforgiving rock and ice will test the limits of those who seek to stand on top of the world. Competition will be fierce as the field is divided in half at the end of this event. Aspen, Colorado. This world-renowned ski mecca is the setting for our next series of events. Extravagance and luxury will be in short supply for the hardy athletes of Global Extremes. Their challenges lie amidst the foreboding peaks of the Elk Mountain Range. Hi everybody, welcome to Global Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure. I'm Craig Hummer along with big mountain skier Darian Boyle, and we are here in the Rocky Mountains, and we are about to see ordinary people doing the extraordinary. What they're going to be doing, they're going to be racing up a mountain where oxygen is in short supply, and this is but one of a series of expeditionary challenges that are going to whittle our group down to what will ultimately be 5 people, Darian, that get a chance to summit Mount Everest.
Our expedition began in Moab, Utah, where 50 people from across the U.S. were chosen to come, and 24 were then brought here to the Rocky Mountains. Their physical and mental abilities will be judged by our adventure experts. Only 12 will make it on to the Kalahari Desert in South Africa.
South Africa's Kalahari Desert, the athletes will not only face unrelenting sun and endless sand, but the burden of eliminating one of their own. The canopy of Costa Rica's lush rainforest will render the stifling humidity inescapable. Slick jungle trails will help determine which 2 will not continue. Iceland's vastness will introduce the participants to severe cold and wind. Their challenge will not only be survival, but harnessing the elements. The field will then be narrowed to 5. Mount Everest, the ultimate goal in adventure. 5 will have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to stand on top of the world. Across the globe, the all-new Toyota 4Runner will serve as an integral part of every expedition. The desert landscape set the stage where these amateur athletes would be introduced to the Global Extremes Challenge. The frigid Colorado River provided anguish for many in the field.
That's a personal disappointment for me.
The adventure course tested physical and mental agility as well as teamwork.
It's going this way, then we gotta go this way.
For some, the venue proved overwhelming.
Tell us how cold it is? It's pretty damn cold.
The early winter made conquering the world-class mountain biking trails an even more treacherous hurdle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fall.
At the climbing sites, Mother Nature cranked up the weather. The individual biathlon proved essential for the expert judges to determine which 24 would continue on to Colorado.
This entire weekend was just the most amazing experience.
Oh, reeling right now. I'm so excited.
This is a great opportunity for me.
I tried my hardest. I did my best.
It ended up like I thought it would and hoped it would.
I'm so happy.
It's always been a dream of mine to go to Mount Everest.
Base camp is established in the Ashcroft Valley near Aspen at over 9,000 feet. The first night, Russell Bryce, along with the other expert judges, introduces guide Chris Warner, who has stood on top of the world twice and who will lead the final climbing team in their attempt to summit Mount Everest.
Having been on the summit of Everest, it's worth every single step that it takes to get there. So the dream's the most important thing. Keep pushing. It's worth it.
All right.
Yeah, right on.
Great to see you all again. You're looking fit and happy and healthy. One of the things that we're going to be concentrating on is your efforts to concentrate on safety. It's a potentially threatening, dangerous environment. There's the potential of frostbite and hypothermia from the cold. There's potential for avalanche. there's potential for getting off the trail and getting lost. So the best of luck to you all, and I look forward to seeing you out on the trail.
Eric Phillips is all too familiar with frozen trails, having traversed both poles and the world's 4 largest ice caps. Leader of 13 successful summit bids of Everest, Russell Bryce is no stranger to extreme conditions. Kathy Sasson is one of the fiercest competitors in the world's foremost adventure races. Multiple championships are not enough for Hans Ray. He continues his 2-wheel explorations around the globe. The first event will be a foot race, leading the athletes up an exposed ridge to the 12,392-foot summit of Highland Peak.
In Aspen, we're going to be looking for a lot of endurance on the physical side, and a lot about the mental aspects, endurance, how strong you are. Are you going to crack up under pressure when things are going wrong, when you're cold and miserable?
Make sure you get the hat. Big Army-Navy football game this weekend.
Big mountain climbing is my passion. It's my addiction.
Here's an opportunity and I'm going for it, but it's really serious.
When I first got into this, my main idea was, get to the top of Everest. Oh, yes. But now my views have changed, and it's no longer get to the top, it's get back down.
Global Extremes has left a lasting impression on those in search of fulfilling a lifelong dream.
I know it's more than just athletic ability, but I think if it was based on just athletic ability, I think I have a really good chance. I'm optimistic.
Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure. Presented by the all-new Forerunner. Larger, more powerful, more capable. And brought to you in part by Yahoo Sports, the official internet partner of Global Extremes. Log on to sports.yahoo.com/Global Extremes for detailed information. And by Camelback. Get cool water anytime with Camelback hydration systems. Camelback, keep moving. Welcome back to Aspen Highlands and the start of the uphill race. 24 will climb over 1,500 feet to the finish line atop Highland Peak.
3, 2, 1, go!
The pack sets off at a sprint despite the 10,900-foot starting elevation. Judges will be watching for Moab rivalries to emerge.
I do know how to pace myself for sure, but I tend to mentally let myself go out a little bit too fast. And I do get into trouble in a few races.
The athletes are very strong mentally. They have a lot of knowledge about what they're going to be doing, but they also need to be able to slow down. It's been one of the problems I've had in the past is super fit athletes coming along and not being able to slow down when the weather's bad and getting frustrated and using a lot of nervous energy. So this is a big challenge for these athletes here as well.
Although swift out of the gate, the racer's pace dissipates as lungs and muscles gasp for precious oxygen.
I think it's got to be tough on the judges because there's 50 great athletes to start, and now it's down to 24. And it's just, the selection process is just going to get harder because I think every single person here is qualified.
The field begins to widen. For some, an early arrival in Aspen was part of the training regimen. Spacious slopes and a snow-capped track funnel into a narrow ridgeline leading to the summit.
I'm glad that Moab's over. Running, that's not what I do. The only running I've done in the past is when I'm being chased by the cops or only when I absolutely necessarily have to run.
Conditions are not a factor this morning as the awe-inspiring bull basks in the sun.
That was Jesse Haynes going by us. He's the first of the athletes to push up the hill. He looks great.
The athletes skirt a rock outcropping on this technical section of the course.
At the end of the day, I guess the most important thing is, people speak well of you. Really all I can do is give 110% and hopefully things will turn out my way.
Sam shows she can hang with the most robust men.
Never back down from anything. I've been in a lot of life-threatening situations in some of the sports that I've chosen to do, and I actually really do enjoy that edge that it presents.
I've been consumed with Global Extremes, and that's pretty much all I've been thinking about for the last few months and training for. So far, the people that I know have been incredible. I feel like I'm in incredible company.
Expert judge Russell Bryce welcomes the first racer to the summit.
Great. I know you shouldn't go so fast. The kids know what to do. Your kids are up there. Okay, so you better go and be able to smoke.
Meanwhile, Eric Phillips keeps an eye on those bringing up the rear.
Well, you still got a bit of a hike here, so we'll let you go.
Great.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you later on.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
So Kathy, we've had the last two athletes come through. It's Stacey and Kim Lulu. They're both looking, you know, steady, strong, but they're ways behind the others.
Back at the finish, Pavel Trkala is the second racer to cross the line. Although climbing strong, Moab standout Jesse Rickert is further down in the pack, suffering from flu-like conditions.
This is fun.
Matthew Weatherly White tackles the outer ridge without the assistance of trekking poles. Darren Wells now reaches the top in third place.
Yes. It's showing.
Yeah, we can tell by the duct tape. That giveaway.
Although hindered by altitude in Moab, Mike Wolfert continues at a steady pace.
I want the people that have battle tested, that know what they can do at elevation in bad weather with somebody hurt. Those are the people that I want if I get hurt.
Off of the exposed ridge, the final push is even more demanding due to the thinning air. The pervasive Pavel displays his exuberance at the top.
Don't do that on Everest. The last one that fell off. How are you feeling? Great. Yeah. This is beautiful. Hey, fellas, where you go? All right. You good, Darren? Nice job, boys.
Good job. How was it out there?
Good to see you. Not too bad.
Feel the altitude?
This last little bit, yeah.
Aaron reaches the final plateau, showing signs of fatigue, but he remains upbeat.
Aaron, did you come early to acclimatize?
No. I wish I would have.
The caliber of athletes are here. I mean, it's no funny business. I'm not laughing. I'm scared.
Hey there, Brendan. Hey, great. Welcome, man. Thank you.
How'd it go, Brandon?
Great.
Looking good.
Let's do it again.
You tough?
It's not too bad.
When I start feeling the air getting thinner, I can certainly feel it in my breathing and my heart rate, but I kind of like it. It's almost invigorating.
Good day, Eric. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Stacking all, huh?
Nice.
All right, Dad. Way to go, dude.
Typical Knowles instructor, the big backpack on.
I feel lost without my pack. Come on.
The women of global extremes finish in strong succession, offering little reprieve for the evaluating judges.
Well done.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
That's where you get your time recording here.
Yeah. Colleen, good to see you.
These guys are motoring. Altitude doesn't seem to be a problem. Good spirits, you know, good weather.
How you doing?
Good.
That's a nice little walk.
Yeah.
Good. Enjoyed that. Did you look at the view?
No.
Well, you got time up here.
Okay.
Did you bring your little poem up here?
Pardon me? Yeah, it's in my pocket.
I know I'm fit, but I feel like there's so many fit people out there, and that's where I start thinking about the mental strength and honestly feel that I'm very strong mentally.
Beautiful.
Did you have a look at the scenery on the
Oh man, yeah, it was humbling. I love that.
Nice view. Cool. Okay,
Thanks.
you guys are going too fast. Your packs are not here yet. You've probably passed them.
I carried mine part way.
Oh, good for you.
My strengths that I think that I'm bringing here to Aspen are my backcountry experience, my mountain climbing experience, mountaineering, and my endurance. I have a lot of endurance.
Hi.
Happy worst.
The beginning legs are tight, huh?
No.
Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Excellent.
Thanks.
The last few stragglers close in on the finish.
Oh, nice. Everybody else got a hope you're okay,
The summit offers little rest as the athletes prepare for a mountaineering parkour comprised of 4 stations. Has Jesse Haynes proved he is the strongest competitor? Or will Jesse Rickard recover and give his arch rival a run for his money? Find out when Global Extremes continues. The magnificent maroon bells are the backdrop for this Global Extremes adventure.
Welcome back. We're here at Aspen Highlands, and behind us is the infamous Highland Bowl. Now, it's just been recently opened for epic extreme skiing. This area includes the north-facing G-Zone, where local boy Ted Mahan claims some of the first tracks of the year.
When it snows in town, it generally doubles or even triples up here. So you know, if there's just a little bit on your car, there's a whole lot here.
Highland Bowl offers some of the premier skiing in North America, with slopes up to 48 degrees and over 1,500 feet of vertical. Ted doesn't mind the hike when the fresh snow blankets the bowl.
Highland Bowl is now the setting to test the mountaineering skills of our athletes. It's important to note too, Darian, that we're only at about 12,500 feet. That's less than half the elevation of the summit of Everest, which is over 29,000. Local outfitter and owner of Aspen Expeditions, Dick Jackson, describes the next series of obstacles. Final preparations are made to ensure all skills tests are safely executed.
We have 3 stations that are off the top of the mountain here. I'm going to go over this side. Okay. Being a wind roll in my face.
All my steps to count, right?
Happy.
The more adventure, the better.
The parkour includes 4 mountaineering stations, including a zip line, a rappel, a Jumaring ascent, and self-arrest with an ice axe. The experts' eyes will be on the athletes and how well they perform these skills, all essential in climbing Mount Everest.
I mean, I think there are a lot of people here who have never used an ice axe.
I don't think there's a lot of people that have any more of a desire or passion than I do.
Kimmy, better catch me.
You see something happening, you want to get in the middle of it.
Darren just passed through here and had the most bomber-safe rope transfer I have ever seen in my life.
If they're not clued up in that particular skill by the time they get there, then of course there are serious consequences.
Feet first! Feet first! What happened down there?
The cold will make people miserable.
Going down there?
Yeah.
I think I'm prepared for this event. As much as you can be prepared for something that you don't know exactly what you're going to be doing.
Whatever happens this weekend, we should be able to deal with it.
You need to think, I've got to step on the downhill side of it, you know? This is all the things that really, really make it frustrating on Everest.
I felt worse.
Who are the people who are still in the game?
I enjoy the pain.
I know for a fact that I have it, so.
You can't be totally prepared for every aspect.
Here's a chance to do Everest. It piqued my interest big time.
I'm going to have to be watching these people quite carefully to see what their mental aspects are and try to see whether they are going to be able to deal with this extra pressure.
Next, the athletes must endure an overnight traverse in below freezing temperatures. And is disparity mounting among the judges regarding the next round of elimination? The ski traverse is next on Global Extremes. Welcome back to Global Extremes. The historic Ashcroft Valley and the Pine Creek Cookhouse are the setting for the next leg of this expedition. Participants cross-country ski to base camp.
After an incredibly beautiful and also very typical day in Colorado, we saw you guys learn some skills. A lot of you came with mountaineering skills already. The experts all got together and we formed some teams for your next couple of days together.
Based upon performance in the foot race and skill stations, the experts divide the athletes into teams of 4. Tibetan monks perform a blessing for safe passage. Mother Nature responds as first light brings about the promise of another remarkable day. During the final gear check before the 2-day backcountry ski traverse, Kathy Sasson and Hans Ray briefed the guides assigned to the teams.
Pretty clear who the top people are that have a great personality. All the things we're judging on cumulatively. The hardest part of the middle people, and that's what we need help in specific things that either push them in the positive or negative category.
The guide's insight and analysis is crucial in determining who will go on.
They're going to put a show on for you guys. Everything is cool and hunky-dory, and you need the isolated incidents, and that's when they're lost, when they're really cold.
We need to be able to get to the hut to use either the facilities or emergencies.
And up to about here is pretty much road.
Yeah, and once you can see the summer route there off to the right here. This is they don't do that in the winter because of the avalanche. You just go up the gut, it's just a drain.
Immediately, one team draws negative attention.
Ready, guys?
The map together?
Are you ready? I'm ready.
Okay. We were so strict about the gear check in Moab, and still these teams didn't have it together. A couple in particular, team Karsten's Pyramid.
Oh yeah, those guys.
First of all, Ron was totally missing, and the team couldn't find him. They're not working as a team, and we threw these guys together on purpose for that reason. They have different personalities, and what we're looking for, and we talked to the guides about, is to see if these guys blend together and get it together by the end.
No, I watched these guys.
Final strategies are formulated at the start line for stage 1 of the 2-day traverse.
I just know it's on this side.
My custom Velcro P30 racing skis into climbing skis, which is gonna be faster than the skins, and you can still downhill on these.
They are getting ready behind us. Teamwork is going to be key right now. They're going to have to think and act like a team. They have broken down their gear. They have put them into backpacks that are going to weigh upwards of 45 pounds. So besides having to deal with that added weight, they're going to have a long day of uncharted terrain as well as a lot of uphill challenges. They're also going to face some avalanche scenarios along the way.
We start with Team McKinley. 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Go.
Kilimanjaro, let's go.
Team Vincent. 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
I think being the first team out with staggered teams, we had to break trail, and with route finding and everything, it might have slowed us down a little bit, but we got a really strong team. I don't think overall it's going to hurt us too bad.
I seem to acclimate well to the altitude. Not to say that it's not difficult, but comparatively to other people, I think I acclimate well.
I think like any goal that you have, there are steps to get to that goal, and I'm one step closer now, so that's very exciting. It's just one grasp closer to getting to Everest.
Will Pavel and his teammates display the camaraderie needed to complete their traverse? Can Karsten's pyramid fall back in favor with the expert judges? The answers when Global Extremes returns. Welcome back to Global Extremes. Departing the Ashcroft ski touring area, the course ascends Express Creek Road. Several crucial events begin to unfold. Team Aconcagua passes Karsten's pyramid, while Ron Dubois reveals his current condition.
Had something intestinal going on for about a week and a half now. I'm setting pace because that's probably the slowest right now, so let everybody know that about my team. We got a real strong team, and this is just obviously pretty unfortunate. We trained a lot for this.
The problem is that right now, any sort of food he throws up.
You know, if somebody would have asked me a year ago, do you want to do Everest? I'd be like, oh God, it's, you know, kind of miserable, I'll suffer, it doesn't really sound that much fun. But it's a whole different ball game when somebody kind of puts it out, dangles it out in front of you.
The road drops back down.
Right.
Here?
Yeah,
It
it's
drops
sort of a
down
little
right here.
coasting down, not down really, but
It's not really crossing contours, but
We're staying on the
we
high
just
side
climb
of
up
the
to it.
drainage here. We're actually going to bump smack into it.
It's going to be a long day for them. Their learning curve is shooting straight up right now. A lot of new things thrown at them. Been kind of giving them hits, and they seem to be picking stuff up, and I'm glad to see that. They've decided now they need to race to the hut. They've taken a pretty strong, pretty aggressive pace. We'll see if they keep it.
There was a turnoff on that modified route, and we just missed it by about 30 meters. We're just going to head back and go down.
So how far we got to cut down there?
Just very, eighth of a mile, very brief. Okay. This pencil line is the new route. This is a little bit higher avalanche danger. So if we can just turn around and go back, we're all set.
Discovering the error of their ways relatively soon, Barton team get back on course and remain in the race.
You must have some strategies in place for the next couple of days. What can you tell me about it?
Really important to stick together, and like you said, it's 2 days, so we don't need to go out crazy and burn ourselves up in the first 2 hours.
Now it's just kind of an uphill slog for a ways, so we'll just probably pick a good pace that works for everybody and stick with it, not overheat.
Pretty early up, I noticed that there's quite a division between Jesse, Rickett and Sam, who have kind of teamed up a little bit, and Hansa and Brendan have kind of teamed up a little bit too. There doesn't seem to be much interaction between the two. Not too much discussion about strategy and tactics. They're kind of going in 2 teams of 2 rather than 1 of 4.
Do you want a chunk of sesame bar?
No, thank you.
Tasty. Are we supposed to go past there, or are we supposed to actually go to Markley Hut?
Well, to get to the valley, the easiest thing is to go to Markley and up. I mean, I've skied that valley.
3 hours into it, 3 hours to go.
Oh, maybe 3.5. Because it's gonna be steeper.
It's steeper coming up.
So about 3.5 hours to go.
In agreement, Pavel and the others now push to reach the high camp.
The most beautiful ever.
Uphill slog for a ways,
Will divisions within teams prove to be their demise? Will Ron have to abandon all hope of continuing in his dream of reaching Everest? Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure, presented by the all-new Forerunner, larger, more powerful, more capable. The teams must demonstrate their knowledge of snow conditions when crossing avalanche-prone slopes.
This is a south-facing aspect. You know, it's still fairly, well, it's before noon. I feel pretty comfortable in here.
We all agree that it's good and safe, and we know what the conditions are like. Just always, keep in check, look up slope. There's always a possibility of something happening, and that's when, most likely it's going to strike us, is when we don't expect it.
Upon reaching Richmond Ridge, the teams climb over 11,000 feet in elevation. This portion of the trek to high camp is relatively flat, offering weary skiers relief.
Alpine skiing I've done for years. There's no descent that I'm worried about. Yeehaw!
Heather and her team remain in 5th place, while a still suffering Ron prevents Karsten Pyramid from climbing out of last. The first teams enjoy some pristine powder as they reach the high camp.
Hi there, Jess. How you doing?
Doing great. Team Kilimanjaro is safely arriving to the destination.
Hip shake from left to right. Said, Angawa. Team Vincent's got the power. We said it, we meant it. We're here to represent it.
Silence replaces singing as the sun drops and a chill descends upon the teams.
You know what? This tent doesn't look very big now.
Want to put the entrance towards the kitchen. Very easy. House facing to the kitchen.
Others begin preparations for high mountain cuisine.
On top of the mountains on a sunny day with that great view. And the thought that if I do it well, I can keep doing it for free on Global Extremes. I can't wait. It'll be like a dream come true.
The guides debrief the experts in a nearby cabin.
A few people are up here, and then there's this whole area of, it's really hard to decide.
Pavel is, I think, a very capable person. He always has to talk first.
He's constantly seeking approval, and part of that it means that he's pulling away opportunities for other people. And in the process of doing that, he's really irritating the living nonsense out of those people.
You know, Kim really didn't show me anything today that I found that impressive.
I'd have to say that Eric stood out.
Yeah.
Which one to go to Everest? Today I would pick Jesse.
Deliberating continues well into the night. Meanwhile, the teams try to stomach their culinary creations.
If you put beef jerky in water, it would stay beef jerky. This you put into water and it turns into a sponge. Doesn't that look good?
You want some of this?
Oh, you know what? There's no beef in there. Sorry. I just found that.
Not the greatest day for me out on the trail, but all my teammates chipped in. We got a really strong team.
I got a bit of a blister. My right foot's smaller than my left foot. So I'm just gonna, moleskin it and duct tape it.
You might be the first U.S. Marine Corps captain to have a cup of Jai Wang Yi.
And probably the last. Probably the last.
Have the judges already determined who will make the cut?
Which one to go to Everest? Today I would pick.
Find out when Global Extremes continues. Tune in next week when Global Extremes' test of endurance and teammanship in Moab and Aspen reveals which 12 will go on to South Africa's Kalahari Desert.
So it's the second day of the ski tour, or at least I should say the second very early morning of the ski tour. It's about 6 a.m. and the groups are just making their last preparations. The tents are all packed away. It's a pretty cold morning. They've got to get themselves together, get together with their guide, and then head on up this very steep hill here.
The early morning departure simulates a summit day bid on Everest. In order to reach the summit and return safely, climbers leave the highest camp as early as 3 a.m.
This may well become a scene to reminisce over for those final 5 that make it to Mount Everest. I dare say that at some stage they'll witness a trail of headlights stomping up a steep hill.
For some, the allure of adventure and exploration is compromised by leaving family and friends behind.
My biggest anxiety and fear of the whole Global Extremes event is, being away from my family. This is our first kid, and it's really neat to see her grow up, and I'm gonna miss 6 months of her life when she's learning lots of new, neat little things. So that's one of my big anxieties.
I think that's great if there's a trail, but there's nothing here leading us there.
I just try to keep my cool and keep my head and think logically through the situation and see what's going to work out best and not let things progress to the point where it could be a problem.
I can see a track going up that far.
Actually, I do see, yeah, you're right.
I don't know, we'll see. see what it looks like once we get over the ridge. He might have a point, but I tend to side with Colleen that the beaten path might be the way. But there is a track going up that far ridge, so if we can get to it without breaking too much trail and wearing us out, I think it might be a good plan.
Despite their differences in opinion, Troy and his team remain on course. They reach the top of the ridge and begin their descent. The ability to stay in control during the downhill sections continues to be a constant challenge.
Not the most graceful.
Matthew demonstrates great athleticism and grace.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize those guys were stopped.
An unexpected obstacle confronts the teams.
Thank God you guys came here. My mate's buried.
How
My
many?
mate is buried.
How many?
How
many buried? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Just my mate.
The teams must work diligently in performing the life-saving drill.
Stacy says so. Go ahead.
Where's your buddy at?
He's here somewhere. See that tree there? And this clump of bushes here. He's in here somewhere.
I got a reading. This way.
I feel something right there.
You feel something? Here, right here. Take it out. Take it out.
Bingo.
Got it. All right, we got him.
Upon finding the avalanche beacon, the teams must next prepare a rescue sled for an emergency evacuation.
Take a spin.
You secure the leg. We'll fish for the...
Stretcher bar slides. No.
They must work in unison to save the incapacitated victim.
Is that comfortable?
We're back.
I feel like they got me though.
Got her? Bring her baby in arms. Don't have a worry.
There's a broken leg, you'd probably turn around the other way and put the weight of the body down below.
I don't want to go fast.
We're not going to go fast. On a slope. She can't. She's got a sidestep right there. Okay.
Can you just keep going the way you're going?
McKinley momentarily loses their grip on the situation. Once on track, the teams haul their victim to the intended checkpoint.
All right. You know, we all had a job to do, but then all of a sudden when it became a first aid situation with the sled, it got a little confusing. There was more than one boss, I thought. 4 people in charge doesn't always lend itself to smooth fluidity.
Can a misdirected Kilimanjaro find their way to the finish line?
I don't know, we'll see.
Will Matthew develop some sense of team spirit? The ski traverse finish when global extremes continue.
Climbing towards the finish line on the snow-covered road is the Toyota 4Runner. Experts and film crew support the athletes with the help of these four-wheel drive vehicles, including getting to the rugged locations like the 11,212-foot summit of Aspen Mountain.
So far through 2 days here in the Rocky Mountains, Darien, our athletes have eagerly met a number of rigorous mountain challenges.
And they're about to come to the end of this particular journey.
Making its way toward first place is Team McKinley. All teams are closing in on the finish line. Remaining consistent, Kilimanjaro is once again off course.
We got a quarter mile left. Bring it home. See how we did. Really?
We're on the west side of the ridge, and we want to know where your finish is.
Right at the sun deck, on the upper cat track, going to the sun deck.
Okay, we'll be there.
The sun-decked restaurant atop Aspen Mountain marks the finish of the 2-day traverse. Well, the finish may be majestic, but you know, last night they slept outside at 12,000 feet after an arduous day of uphill climbs. They were then up before sunrise this morning to continue their 20-mile trek.
And now we'll wait for the first teams to come across the finish line.
McKinley is the first team across.
All right.
Despite being lost repeated times, Kilimanjaro is able to complete the course.
All right. About time.
I think we were strong not only fitness-wise, but as working as a team.
Yeah, toughest thing for me, I think, was the hill climb today.
I headed out to do a hasty search, and I ended up following. I was, what's going on? You know, what is this beacon broken? What's going on? And I realized that I was following our cameraman around because he was still on transmit.
I could use a back massage and a beer, but other than that, it was great.
I don't know, what was the
Kind
hardest
of
part?
the last couple miles, not like physically hard, but it's just like
Got a little
you're ready to be
tedious
there.
right there.
You're ready to be there. You're in the trees.
Yep.
Is it over this hill?
We had a traditional distribution of labor. The ladies took care of the kitchen. We built the house.
I don't think I could handle Pavel on a 2-month expedition.
He kind of goes off in his own directions, and as far as a team player, I'm not so sure that that's kind of what bothered me. I can deal with his, obnoxious kind of out there behavior, but I don't like that he kind of goes off in his own direction sometimes.
By virtue of the fact that Ron's health compromised our objectives originally, the whole idea of having a team leader seemed a lot less important.
We all snuggled together last night in a tent. Worked out well. They didn't treat me any differently. They treated me like a teammate.
If we can sleep out in the cold last night like that, I can't imagine Africa's going to be. Whew, it sounds like a piece of cake, actually.
Is Pavel's personality proving too much for the others?
We had a traditional distribution of labor.
I don't think I could handle Pavel.
Kind of goes off in his own directions.
More Global Extremes when we return. Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure, presented by the all-new Forerunner, larger, more powerful, more capable. And brought to you in part by Expedia.com. Don't just travel, travel right. And by Camelback. Get cool water anytime with Camelback hydration systems. Camelback, keep moving. And by Rolling Rock. We started with 50 amateur athletes in Moab, Utah, Darian. 24 were asked to come here to the Rocky Mountains and asked to give it their all, and they delivered. Now, though, their fate rests in the hands of our judges.
Well, they've got some tough decisions to make. We've witnessed a very talented and tenacious group of athletes, and I have to tell you, Craig, the will and determination is in all the participants.
We'll keep in mind as well that our judges can only pick 12 people, which is half of our group, to continue on to the start of our global odyssey, which begins on the windswept Kalahari Desert.
Only 5 athletes will make up the dream team. They'll be given the opportunity of a lifetime, the attempt to summit Mount Everest in May. Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay summited the world's tallest mountain 50 years ago. Global Extremes Mount Everest Forerunners of Adventure is providing the opportunity to amateur athletes in joining the ranks of those who have stood on the rooftop of the world.
Go through the names that we all agree are in. Basically, we have good, positive feelings about them in personal skills, individual skills, teamwork, all the normal things that we're judging on. I would say he's in.
I don't think he's worthy to be above.
I have her as one of my top females.
I reckon he's in.
She continually surprised me.
I want to get rid of him.
We're ready to go outside.
Let's go to the fire.
Congratulations to those who move on, and my condolences to those who will be going home.
Who's it going to be?
Be back with us next week on OLN when the jury comes in and we find out who those 12 will be that advance. For Darian Boyle, I'm Craig Hummer. So long from Aspen, Colorado, and Global Extremes Mount Everest, Forerunners of Adventure.